I'm Jeremy Klein. I'm the lead pastor at Hilliard Church of Christ here in town, and been there almost 4 years now. So really loving it. Love Hilliard. This is my wife Dawn. We have two grown children. One is 18 years old, works for Coffee Connections, woohoo! And the other one, Alex, is 23 years old? Yeah, 23 years old. And worked for Coffee Connections for a little while. So that's kind of what our story leads into, really.
I am fifth grade teacher at West Jeff.
How long have you been there?
For 4 years, almost 4 years, yeah.
Did you always want to be a teacher growing up, or is that just something that just...
It just kind of came in because I was going to go and be a child psychiatrist, and then I took some psychiatry classes, and I was like, no, I'll do teaching instead.
Yeah, so we were living in Barberton, Ohio, Northeast Ohio. Had been a pastor up there for, at that time, 6 years, something like that, 7 years. And our church shut down right at the beginning of the pandemic, and we were trying to figure out what we were going to do as far as church goes, but we ended up having online services for a while, and that worked out for a little while, but we ended up coming back together. It was like late June, I think, and so we were, and of course she was teaching school online.
I was teaching, we completely shut down, and that was kind of really abrupt. It was just, hey, you're going to only take 2 weeks for spring break, and then we shut down for the whole year, and then the next year I was completely remote. So 27 fourth graders, completely remote. Our school gave them an option, whether they wanted to be remote or come in person in really small classes spread out throughout the school. So yeah, about 1/3 of the school decided to go ahead and go remote.
Toward the end of the summer of 2020, kind of like the pandemic, obviously, I got a call from the Hilliard Church of Christ looking for a minister, pastor, to come down and be their preacher, and I fought hard against that. I didn't want to move during COVID, right? They're like, no way, that's not going to happen. But God has plans, and after a long debate with God and all of that, we ended up down here in March of 2021, and it just seemed like the right move for us, really.
It just seemed healthier for our kids, and just come down here and fresh start.
Yeah, give us a fresh start. Give us a place to bring our kids where they can maybe thrive a little more, where we were from a small town, not much to do, not much work opportunity. Being in the Columbus area, Central Ohio, really helped kind of solidify, hey, this is where we need to go. This is where we can raise our family and hopefully future family, right? Grandkids and stuff, so yeah.
Alex was a 2020 graduate, so it was kind of like he was already out and done, and then he was at basic training when we kind of made the decision to make the move. So it was kind of a little bit of a difficult decision, but as soon as he came down here and saw it, he's like, let's do it. Let's get out of here. So he liked it. And then Olivia was a little bit more apprehensive, being a freshman in high school and, just getting out of, middle school and during COVID. And
I think personally it took time to get there just because everything was shut down. So driving around town in August, September, October, even into December, there weren't a lot of people on the streets. There weren't a lot of businesses open, or if they were, it was very limited and who was coming in and out. And so we really didn't see the life of the city. I was attracted to the fact, knowing that it was a growing city, that businesses were starting up and the population was increasing, and there was a lot of growth potential here. So in my mind, I could see that, even though I couldn't see it during the pandemic. So
it was a younger city. The average age was a lot younger than where we came from, and the amount of elementary schools and high schools almost tripled where we were from. So our first weekend here, so like I said, we said yes to the church in 2020, December 2020, but we didn't start till March, and he actually started before we came down officially. So we let Olivia finish her freshman year, and so we were coming down every single weekend starting in March. So we got this gift from somebody, a little welcome package, and it had Coffee Connections gift card, and it had the popcorn from Crooked Can when they were still there, and a couple other things from Hilliard. And I know I'm not supposed to say this very loudly, but I'm not a coffee drinker. And so
get the bleep button out.
I love their chai. I love Anna's chai, but not a coffee drinker. So when my son, who had just graduated, saw that, and he was working at a coffee shop at Barberton, when he saw that, he's like, "Can I use it?" And I'm like, "Sure, go ahead, go get some coffee." And so he went, and he came home with my chai, his coffee, and a job. So apparently he had met Sharon, and she said, "You want to work for us?" And he's like, "Sure." And we weren't moving down here for 3 more months. We were still doing the back and forth. And then even at that, he was in the military. So he was going to do some training, and then he was going to go overseas, and Sharon knew all of that and still hired him. So the rest is history. And then Olivia was a little too young to be working, but she started babysitting for the girls and started working as soon as she could, and that rest is history.
I kept hearing about Nate and Sharon. Who's this Nate and Sharon? And I think I stopped into the coffee shop one time and met you guys. So of course you guys have been partners with us at the church too. So that's been huge. So that's where I've appreciated you, I guess in particular, having that personal relationship. You're partnering with the local churches and being involved that way. I think one has been a blessing, coming in and helping with our children's ministry and kind of opening their eyes to, hey, oh, God is actually somebody we can talk to. That was really cool. Partnering with you guys in the Freedom Fest. I know we only provided tables and chairs, but the fact that you guys were setting up and creating a space where families could come and actually sit at tables and chairs, enjoy a cup of coffee or a cold beverage, really, I think is what we were doing out there. Is really cool to see you guys plugged into the community. Kind of inspires me to be there along with you. To do stuff, taking coffee to the teachers at the schools. We did that a couple times, and it's just really cool to see a business in the community partnering with others in the community, and not necessarily businesses, but service workers, teachers, community workers. To me, that's inspiring. We need more of that for sure. Sharon sent an email out. I'm thinking to a bunch of churches, bunch of pastors maybe. I remember I got the email. And she was looking to provide water bottles for the kids in the schools because of COVID, obviously. They couldn't just drink out of water fountains. They had to have a water bottle. And some of the kids couldn't afford water bottles, couldn't, whatever. And so she reached out to all these churches, and I can't remember, she needed like 1,000 water bottles. And I went to my elders and like, hey, let's just buy all these water bottles, So I answered the call, I went to the elders like, yeah, let's just do it. We bought 1,000 water bottles, and I can't remember if Sharon came and picked them up or we dropped them off. I don't remember how we even got them, but I don't even know where they went. They went to the schools, which was really, really cool. And I remember she was just kind of like thrilled that a church would do something like that. And we were just so glad to be a part of the help in the community.
This definitely was a godsend. I know, Alex, he thrives everywhere he goes. So this was a perfect job for him. He likes meeting people. He likes talking to them, sharing his faith. And Olivia was a little bit more different. She's a little bit different. She's shyer. She was not very happy about coming here. She knew this was the right choice immediately, even as a freshman in high school. But coming here and fitting in was just a little bit harder. So I feel like this gave her a community where she thrives. She thrives under the leadership of you guys. She thrives with the workers that she works with. But it definitely gave them a community and some place to even go. I mean, they've always been a part of the church. They've always been, with us every step of the way, but this was theirs. They brought us into here versus us bringing them into our church and stuff like that. But yeah, so it kind of and I think to see your leadership and your wife's leadership and how you guys openly profess Jesus and you're not apologetic about that has really helped her be a little bit more brave and a little bit more, understanding to others and things like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, your name is perfect just in the way that it has connected us into our community. And, we have a big backing from the church, but then to get really into our community, Alex brought home a mom with a daughter, she's like, I met somebody
let's clarify that.
I met somebody at the coffee shop, and Alex was working at Gateway, which was near OSU, and he just kept saying that he met this mom with this daughter. She was homeschooling her, and would come home every day and like, oh, finally the little girl ordered chocolate milk for me, and he was so excited. And so I'd always hear about them, and then all of a sudden he's like, oh, by the way, she works on Sundays, and so I said that you're gonna watch her daughter and bring her to church. And so we're like, okay. And then she's like, oh, by the way, Olivia needs to babysit her. So he was just bringing them into our lives. And
I'm surprised he didn't offer them to live at our house.
he might have.
He usually does.
He does that often. But so we started babysitting for her, and we were bringing the little girl to our church. And then when the mom was done working on Sundays, she started coming to our church, and we've just become close friends. And it just kind of, really did connect us, and then bring people that we would not have met otherwise. Like, we would have met people in our church, we would have met some of our neighbors, but there are different people in our lives now that are strictly because of them working here.
Outside of our normal community, the church or our neighborhood, this is like another community I think we have of friends that we've made with you, you and Sharon, and even your coworkers. Like, I know your employees' names. That's not normal. So connections is key to what you're doing here in Hilliard and people's lives, I would say. Yeah.